this process takes time. And even if you think you're not making a headway, trust me, you are. Welcome to the Black Mother Wound podcast, where we center the stories of Black women as we heal from the painful relationships with our mothers. Welcome to the Black Mother Wound podcast. I'm your host, Jennifer Arnice. Welcome back, y'all. I hope you are doing well and taking good care of yourself. It has been an extremely busy day, but I had some very good advice and counsel this week that told me in order to achieve the things that I want to achieve right now this year, there's going to be an imbalance in my time. And I needed to hear that because I wanted to get and usually want to get what I want with all of the comfort of the old life. And basically what she was saying was, you're going to have to give up some things to get what you want. And so I'm giving up time right now, which is what I value more than just about anything. And so here I am in my studio. It's probably almost 9 o'clock now. And I'm shooting this episode. And I have never shot at night before because I've always told myself that I'm tired at night. I have to be in the bed by 7:30. I'm exhausted. I can't do anything after a certain time. But when I made the decision to pursue some business goals for 2025, and I kind of stood 10 toes on it yesterday, I was also made aware that that old version of me cannot come into this new version of what I want. And I'm just saying that because I'm really proud of myself. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I got up at the end of the day, took a shower, got dressed, put makeup on and everything. It's unheard of. I'm like, who is this girl? Like, who is she? I like her. Can we be friends? So if you're watching the video now, you'll also see that we're kind of doing I'm trying to get this kind of night moody vibe. I haven't quite gotten it yet because I'm still working on all of my lighting and positioning and where everything goes and trying to get my camera to do what I want it to do. And this is the crazy part, y'all. I don't really know what I'm doing. I watch some YouTube videos and I'm like, okay, let me see what I can scramble and put together. But I realized that I wasn't giving it my all. I wasn't doing my best, because I was like, let me see how far I can get with minimal effort. Like maybe I can get where I want if I don't give it 100%. Baby, you're not going to get there without giving it 100%. And I think I realized that with my healing journey because I have really given that 100%. But I was like, God, you want me to give 100% to something else? Shit, I don't feel like it. But I have a funny feeling that the reward for that is going to be well worth it. And not just the external reward, but the internal reward, because I'm giving myself the opportunity to bloom, to shine, to be my best self, to be recognized by me, to recognize myself. And it's like me claiming like I exist, like I'm real, I'm here. And the inner little girl in me she is elated about it. She is not tired at all. She's like, ooh, we're about to have fun. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I'm liking it right now. So that's what I have going on today. That's not what we're going to talk about. Usually I start out there and it leads us into this episode, but that's not the episode today. What we're going to talk about today is probably a little more heavy. So maybe I got y'all loosened up a little bit. So we're in the second week of Resolve, and the second level of autonomy is your emotions, emotional management, being able to feel your feelings, connecting to your feelings. So it was a really powerful class because so many of us with mother wounds have been taught to disconnect from our feelings because our feelings made us more aware of how fucked up things were. And it showed us how little power we had. And it created a space where we had even less safety. And because everything that we were doing as children was about survival, the first thing that we had to detach from was our emotions. Because our emotions, they are our compass. They are our guide. They send messages to our mind and our body so we can take action. But guess what? As a child, you don't have the power or the authority or even know how to take the action. So it's like, what am I supposed to do with this feeling of sadness? I mean, there's nobody cares. So what am I going to do with it? I might as well stuff it. I might as well eat it, right? What am I going to do with this feeling of loneliness, of being insecure, of feeling left out, like all of these emotions that come up for us as children that are the evidence. They're the emotional evidence of us not having a loving, nurturing, caring mother in our life. That shit hurts to even feel because it's like, is this real? Because we love our mother so much, and it's like, she doesn't feel the same way about me. And that is crushing. It is so crushing to this day to imagine loving someone so much, so unconditionally, so purely. And the way you feel about them, they don't feel that way about you. And we make it about us. We make it our fault, right? And that's where we learn guilt very early on, very, very, very early on, because it can't be her. It absolutely cannot be her, because if it's her, if she's the problem, I'm fucked because she's all I have. But maybe if I'm the problem, I can fix that, right? So I get busy into the fixing of myself since I'm the problem. The first thing that has to go is these emotions of me feeling sad, me feeling insecure, me feeling left out, me feeling angry, all of this, because it is counterintuitive to my survival in this house with this woman, right? So what I was teaching this week is how to reconnect to the feelings that we have disassociated from, that we have stuffed, that we deny, because in order to have autonomy, in order to have sovereignty over yourself and over your life, you have to go back and pick up all the things that you left behind that are a part of you and put them back together, right? You have to go back and get your emotions. You have to reassign a different value to them. You have to make peace with the messages that they sent you. You have to give yourself permission to feel those things that you didn't want to feel all those years because it made you feel unsafe and it made you feel like a bad person. So that's what I want to talk to you all about today, because I am pretty sure you need it. Let me put I took my glasses off because I was trying to be cute, but I cannot see my paper without my glasses. When you lose connection with your emotions, you lose connection with your compass. Your emotions are your compass. They are your internal GPS system, so to speak, right? Wherever you are, your GPS can tell you what you need to do to get to where you're trying to go. Your emotions tell you that. They tell you, oh, I'm scared. They tell you I'm happy. Okay. They tell you I'm sad. I'm angry. I'm confused, whatever it is. Because then once you know that, you can then say, do I want more of this feeling or do I want a different feeling? How does my body feel when I'm having this emotion? Oh, this emotion came when this person came around, and this emotion came when this situation happened. And it helps us identify our environment, right? It helps us identify people. And so that's why it's of the utmost importance that you have a good, strong hold on your emotions, not a control of your emotions, but a relationship with them and a management of them, right? So that you can now have a compass and a GPS that fuels your intuition. The intuition that is all about really, not just, they're not a good person, I shouldn't be hanging around with them. We wait on our intuition to tell us what we shouldn't be doing. But what about when our intuition is telling us what we should be doing? Like, ooh, that really lights me up. I get butterflies in my stomach when, this topic comes up, or when I'm doing this activity, or when this person comes around. When we lose our compass and we lose our sense of emotional management, other people's emotions become our compass, and how they feel about our life and our choices starts to guide us. And then we wonder why we feel lost. You can't follow a person's GPS from their car. You can only follow the GPS in your car. Y'all might be on the same highway, but you don't know what exit they're going to get off on. You don't know how fast they're going. Your GPS say you're going to be there in 2 minutes. Theirs, it's going to be 5 minutes because they're going slower than you, right? They might have to take another stop before they go to the same location, but they got to make a couple stops first. They're going to get rerouted. Okay. Hey, I'm going to take it to one step further. What if their GPS is broken? What if they trying to follow somebody else's GPS? So you, the piccolo, you the man next to the man next to the piccolo player. If you're in my age group, you will know what that joke is. Okay, you will know that joke. That's why you can't depend on somebody else's emotions. That's why codependency is so dangerous, because you are dependent on how somebody else feels, someone else's compass. So I realized that instead of trying to help you, usually people with a mother wound, most people in general have issues setting boundaries. And it's like, well, I don't want to set a boundary because I feel guilty. And I believe the better our emotional management is, the easier it is for us to set boundaries, because the guilt we feel is really the fruit of depending on somebody else's feelings, because you don't have access to your own. But once you are able to fully manage your own emotions, this tendency, this external gaze that makes you very aware of how other people feel naturally fades away. And so the guilt really doesn't come over you emotionally like it used to. You might have awareness that they might not like what you're going to say or do, but it doesn't hit you in the heart the same way. It doesn't cripple you the same way. It doesn't cause you to turn on yourself the same way, because you are now guided by a different compass. Does that make sense? So I have an exercise for you all that I gave my students the other night, and I'm going to walk you through it, because I could talk about this all day, all night, but What kept coming up for everyone was, this fear of sitting with the emotion. If I feel the sadness, I will, go down this rabbit hole and I'll never be able to come back out. Listen, I remember it so clearly. And that's why when I taught this class last night, I had a trigger warning at the beginning, because I remember being probably a junior or a senior in college. And I had experienced a severe trauma as in high school that I was still working with. And I had gotten to a point where I wasn't sad all the time, but I was blocking my emotions. And I remember telling myself, if you ever get sad again, you will never be able to come out of it. So whatever you do, stay away from that emotion, because it will kill you. That was the fear I had. That is the power that it had over me. And it took a lot of time before, and when I say a lot of time, I mean decades. It's not going to take y'all decades though, because you have me. I didn't have a me back then to gain a level of awareness of how I feel and to build a relationship with myself to make sure that I felt safe enough to go down the rabbit hole, to go down into the tunnel of what those difficult emotions are. And I'm here to tell you, it's not going to kill you. It's not going to take you out. It just won't. I promise you. It might feel like it in the beginning, but it won't. So I have an exercise here that hopefully will help, because learning emotional management is like building a muscle, right? It's like starting with a 1 pound weight versus a 50-pound weight. And a lot of times with healing, people want to jump in with a 50-pound weight. And then when they can't lift it or they drop it on their foot, it's see, it doesn't work. And it's you don't have to solve it all right now. That becomes the other piece of the puzzle with healing. It's I want it to be over and healed and over fast now. I want the BBL of healing. Take me, put me under and let me come out and it's perfect. And that has a lot of risk and it rarely works the way you want. So, but if we can start with, it's if you're losing weight, it's let's start with eating right. Let's start with drinking more water. And over time, you have created a healthy lifestyle. Then you can add other things onto that. And it's the same way with healing. And so we're going to start with I'm going to call it a 1 pound weight, because I'm giving you the grace period of a time limit. Okay. Because I think when people start to sit with difficult emotions, you think you're going to be there forever. There is an element of time there, because you're just I don't have any control. I'm going to give you a constraint in time, which will help you create some boundaries, which I think will help you feel safe. Again, we're talking about how you can create an environment of safety for yourself. This is not about tough love and just jump in there and do it. No, this is somebody who's both their legs are broken and they're learning to walk again. So it's if we can just get all 10 of your toes to wiggle today, that's a success. And tomorrow we will build on that. Okay. That's really how I want you to look at healing. I don't want you to look at it as you've got to fix yourself because you're going to miss out on something and you need to hurry up. And no, this process takes time. And even if you think you're not making a headway, trust me, you are. Okay. So what I want you to do is you're not going to go through the whole thing right now, because what I want you to do is you're going to set a alarm on your phone for 10 minutes. You're going to set a timer on your phone for 10 minutes, because I want you to try this out. I don't want you to jump into an hour or anything like that. I just want you to do 10 minutes and see if you like it. And if you like it, then you can move on and you can add more time. So, but I'm just going to take you through it now. Okay. And I don't think it'll take 10 minutes, but you can listen to this and then go back and do it yourself. And you know what? I think what I'll try and do is put these steps in the show notes and in the description below if you're on YouTube. So you'll have it there and you can access it, right? So in this practice, there has to be a level of self-trust. When you are healing your mother wound, it's all about building a healthy relationship with yourself. And you cannot have a healthy relationship without trust. And when you're going into difficult emotions, you feel a lack of safety. Remember, we talked about safety last week. You feel a lack of safety. So you have to first be able to let yourself know, I'm not going to let anything happen to you, right? We're going to sit here for 10 minutes and we're going to connect to whatever emotion comes up, right? So that is the first thing you have to establish with your inner little girl. It's like, she is safe. You are not going to let anything happen to her. And we're just going to do this for 10 minutes, right? And see if you can get her buy-in for 10 minutes. Okay? Baby steps. Remember that. I also want you to approach your emotions, whatever comes up, even if nothing comes up, with curiosity. I don't want you to go into this with this preconceived notion of, good emotion, bad emotion, or that's wrong, or I shouldn't feel this way, but just curious. This is like a fact-finding mission. I want to see what comes up. You okay? What's the little trend they have on social media now? We listen and we do not judge. That part. Okay. So it's like, oh, I'm just going to be curious. I'm going to give myself permission not to judge myself for the next 10 minutes and be curious about what comes up and let my inner little girl know that she is safe. Okay. You're going to be somewhere quiet and comfortable, whether it's in your house or in your car, somewhere where you won't be disturbed, right? And you're just going to sit quietly and you're going to take a few deep breaths. You may already have an emotion that you know is coming up. It already might be there, right? And I just want you to sit and see what comes up for you, right? And there's no wrong emotion. And as you're sitting there and whatever that emotion is begins to come up, I want you to pay attention to where you feel it in your body. Where is it happening? Is it in your throat? Is it in your head? Is it in your chest? Is it in your belly? Is it in your knees? Is it in your hands? Are you clenching your jaw? Is it in your brow? And I just want you to be aware of that. And I want you to start to relax that area of your body. And I want you to start to move it around a little bit. If it's in your shoulders, start to move your shoulders a little bit. Just start to get that, because trauma is in our body, right? And these emotions, they get lodged in our body, right? We don't even realize how we're hunched over or tense, and that tension is sitting in our body and that emotion stays stuck. We don't always have to get to the bottom of why we feel that way. It's just we need to know that it's there and have the intention of creating a space where it can be released, right? So I want you just to move it around a little bit, and I want you to touch whatever part of the body that you feel that tension. And I just want you to apply a firm but loving pressure, like a hug, like a squeeze, just getting back into your body, reminding yourself that you're safe, right? You're not going down the rabbit hole. You are here. You have your back. Whatever comes up is okay. Any emotion that comes up is okay. It's safe. It's understandable, whatever it is, towards anyone. Even if it's to yourself, it's like, oh, I could see why you would blame yourself. I could see why you'd be angry at yourself. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay to let it come up, right? If tears come up, it's okay. Remember, you're safe. Keep reminding yourself of that. And I want you to continue this exercise for about 10 minutes, right? If there are words that come up, maybe you have a journal and a pen and you want to write some things down. Maybe you want to just say some things out loud. I don't know. Whatever it is, there's no wrong answer. A lot of times you all want to know, like, how should I do it? How do I know if I'm doing it right? Whatever you're doing is right. And I want you to reinforce that with yourself, right? Whatever you're doing is the right thing. As long as there's a loving kindness toward yourself, there's curiosity, there's acceptance, and there's this letting yourself know that you are safe. As long as you're doing that, you are doing it the right way. Okay. And so as you start to wind down, whether the alarm has gone off now or the emotions start to subside, I want you to thank your inner little girl. I want you to say, thank you so much. You are so brave. That took a lot. I know how hard that was for you, and you did it. And I'm glad I could be here for you, right? And let her know that, she can go and play now. And let her know also that you're going to be back again soon, because we're going to do this exercise again, because there are some things that need to get cleared out so she can be happy and peaceful, and you can be happy and peaceful. I want you to give her a nice squeeze, give her a nice hug, and send her back on her way to do whatever it is that she enjoys doing. Okay. I want you to practice this 2 to 3 times a week. If you can do it more, do it more. If you can do longer than 10 minutes, do longer than 10 minutes. But I also want you to practice this not only when difficult emotions or painful emotions come up, but also when, happy feelings come. Because sometimes we'll squash those too. We will squash those because we think we don't deserve to have them. When, an excitement, a creative feeling comes up, a little titillatingness, something comes up in you, I also want you to, instead of pushing it down, spend some time with it. What is that feeling about? That feels good. I like that. Becoming a good emotional manager is not just about the painful, difficult emotions. It's your whole spectrum of emotions. As a matter of fact, I'm going to put an emotions wheel in the show notes and in the link below too. It's a PDF. So you have that. So you can have words, right, to your emotions. You'd be like, that's what that is. Okay, that's how I feel, right? Building the vocabulary for her so she can tell you, hey, I'm feeling very anxious right now, or I'm feeling unsettled, or I'm feeling scared, right? I'm feeling embarrassed. Sometimes we feel embarrassed, but anger comes over the top of it. I want you to ask her, when the first feeling comes, is there another emotion below that? Is there another emotion below that emotion? So you can start getting to the root of it. Okay. So that is all that I have for you today. I hope that this is helpful. I hope that you don't just listen or watch this episode. I hope that you take the time to practice it and realize that you are there for you. You are not alone. And this is a great practice in building a relationship with yourself, and you coming away feeling like, I am loved. Because I love me, because I take care of me. And we don't even have to pay attention to who doesn't, because I do, right? So if you have any questions about this, just shoot me a comment if you're watching this on YouTube. And if you do this exercise, I would love to hear, what the impact was, what the outcome was. And if you had issues with it, sitting still or engaging, put that in the comments. If you're listening to the podcast, shoot me an email. It's info@jenniferarnice.com so I can hear about your experience with it, because we really are all in this together. And I will see you next week.